Howard Stern Show ends and the wrap-up show begins. Welcome to the wrap-up show.
The wrap-up show.
A recap and behind-the-scenes look at the Stern Show. Call in
888-STERN-100.
The wrap-up show with John Hein and Gary Delabate. Wrap-up show.
Gary, you want to take this part?
Good morning, everybody.
Thank you, Gary.
My voice cracked on that.
Yeah, you said.
Welcome to the wrap-up show with my buddy John Hein and Gary Delabate. Hello, hello.
Hello,
and
hello.
we got a great show today. We're going to cover. You take it from here, John.
Hello, hello. Yeah, I'm still a little congested, but I do have a voice, so I'm going to give it a go. J.D. Harmeyer's here to step in case I crap out during the show.
I had to be pried away from my TV.
Yes, thank you for being here. 888-STERN-100 is the number to call. And we're going to talk about Steve Carell dropping by this week. We're going to talk about Fred spoiling Homeland for Howard and who was in the right and in the wrong. We're going to talk about Sal and his burgeoning, blossoming music career. Should he go on as a crooner or a rapper? And last but not least, we're going to talk about Benji being weighed for birthday show tickets. That's what you heard this morning. So give us a call.
Can we? Are we going to be able to talk about Benji wanting to wear a weird outfit?
Yeah, I think we'll get into that once he gets here, and see if he.
Can't we do it without him?
Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, we can do it without him. Go ahead, Gary.
I mean, can we be, because he hijacks the conversation away. Can we get into the utter ridiculousness of it? How do you think that he doesn't recognize? Like, he tries to convince you, like, hey, this isn't me being weird. This is all about me and how I feel about me being fat. But then you start to buy into that a little bit and go, well, maybe he feels that way. Then you're like, wait a minute. This is so about him.
Gary, there's definitely some truth to that, but ultimately it's all about attention and wanting to be noticed. He did it before at the party. He does it all the time. And even by saying it gets him noticed, and you sort of play into that. And that's what he's looking for. I think the best thing would be is if he did it and everybody just ignored him. I think that would be, sort of the ultimate, because then he's not getting what he's really looking for.
Well, it's interesting because yesterday when I talked to Howard about, he posted this idea on a site that we all use to communicate with for work, and everybody sort of was like half the people were there like, did you see this? And the other half of the people were like, I have a great idea. Let's just ignore this and pretend it didn't happen. But I thought it was funny enough to bring up on the air, and B, I wanted it addressed because if he showed up in that outfit, and that could have created trouble too. Do you know what I mean? But don't you think Benji's very persuasive at getting you to believe that it's not about what it's about?
I think he tries to be, but ultimately, I'm not buying it. Like, I see through it. And Sal, you get accused sometimes. Actually, you used to get accused of like doing stuff just for attention. Yes, sure. I don't sound well.
You sound like China.
Do you? Thank you. I'll sing Holiday at the end of the show.
I had to move over for Diva over here. No, I do.
Why couldn't you sit in that chair?
I have heavy floaters today, and the computer hurts my eyes. So JD was kind enough to switch seats.
Turn the monitor off.
What are heavy floaters?
Floaters, when you see spots. I have a screen over my monitor. It's like a tinted screen because the light's too bright and it hurts my eyes.
Oh, really?
Do you have? Is there a name for what you have? The floater thing? Like if you go to the doctor, what are
the slang is pretty much it's just floaters. I don't know the medical term, but the term is floaters. I've been to the eye doctor 3 times for it.
What do they say?
And what did he say?
It's just old age, and it's just something you really basically can't do anything about except ignore it and just eat right. Basically, a good diet has a lot to do with it. If I drink heavy in the morning, wow, I'm like seeing spots all over the place all day.
What do you mean drink heavy in the morning?
If I drink heavy, if I drink alcohol heavily in the following morning, it really affects me. I wasn't drinking last night though, but today's just they call it floaters.
Well, you're in front of the computer all the time. I mean,
yeah, that's why I spoke to Tracy and she got me a tinted screen to cover my monitor.
John, do you think that Sal's a tiny bit of a hypochondriac?
Yes. Yeah.
Tiny.
Yeah. He'll confess to that.
Yeah, I will.
He's a hypochondriac.
No, because you have a lot. You have a lot of small ailments, not big ones, small ones that I never really heard of, or most people your age don't have.
Oh, floaters are extremely common, and they get worse as you get older, especially in your 60s and 70s.
I never heard that term before.
Eye floaters. Yeah, Google it. It's all over the place. Eye floaters.
No, I know how to spell floaters.
I just want to make sure you get it right.
When you wear your glasses, does that help?
Sunglasses help tremendously. But not
regular glasses.
Not regular glasses. No.
And when did this first start happening?
About 3 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, about 3 years ago. So I've been to the eye doctor 3 times, and I see her every 6 months. We follow up every 6 months. Some days it's better than others. And there's exercises you can do as well to help substantiate some of the floaters, to kind of...
What kind of floating exercises are there?
You have to, you basically, you circle your eyes to the right 10 times, you circle your eyes to the left 10 times. You go
Open
up,
or shut?
Shut. Open. And then shut up and down, and then you rub your temples, and then you also rub the area above your nose that meets the corner of your eyes. That area you rub for about a minute as well.
Does it help?
Well, John, he's right for sure. There's no shortage of discussion of it on the internet. They say that it's mostly annoying, not really harmful. It could be the sign of something more, but for the most part, if you do some exercises, it'll go away. It usually doesn't get worse.
Do you worry like it could be like a brain tumor or something like that, heaven forbid?
They found a freckle on my left eyeball, and I was worried that could have been a cancerous.
A freckle?
Yeah, a freckle on the back, yeah. A freckle on my eyeball, and they follow. That's why I go to the eye doctor every 3 to 6 months to just monitor the freckle to make sure that it doesn't expand.
Now, what about the other issue you were dealing with, Sal? What was that called again?
Yeah. I forgot the name because I checked it that morning on the internet.
The shaking?
No, not the shaking. The shaking I still have.
What's the name of the shaking, though?
Essential tremors. And,
that's the one, essential tremors.
Yeah.
But there was another one.
Yeah, that was my outer-body experiences.
Right. What's that one called?
Oh, God, I forgot the name of that one.
Idiocy?
Yeah. I forget the name. I forgot the name on that one, but that's where I would be driving, and all of a sudden I would look at my arms on the steering wheel, but I couldn't feel them. I felt like I was detached from myself. That has gone away tremendously. That was primarily based on stress. So,
what did you do to treat that?
Nothing. Just meditate. Well, not meditation. I have hypnosis tapes on my phone, and I listen to hypnosis to help me.
Wait, what are hypnosis tapes?
Hypnosis tapes, they're just tapes of hypnotists, and they basically they help calm you down. They help de-stress you if you're feeling stressful. If you have a tremendous amount of anxiety, I listen to hypnosis tapes.
If it puts you in a hypnotic state, how do you get out of it?
You can. You're usually 10 to 15 minutes, and they start off where they relax you, and then by the end, the tape breaks you out of that hypnotic state.
But if the tape stops early or something, are you screwed?
I don't think so. I've never had that situation.
Gary, you ever heard of hypnotism tapes?
I'm sad to say that I have, because it's the way that I quit smoking. I went to go see this hypnoptist guy, and
I'm
by the
glad
way,
that you're sad about it, that you have to confirm that you're doing something that I've done. It's a sad thing.
I did it for a while.
Good. Go ahead, Gary.
I did it for a while, and then it's really interesting. I actually have the thing on my iPod, and once in a while, if I have trouble sleeping, like especially if I'm in a hotel on the road, if I have trouble sleeping, I'll plug it in and listen to it. It's good. It's probably about 15, 20 minutes long, and they all start out the same way. You're walking on the beach.
Right.
You can feel your feet in the sand. That whole thing. But I have to say, it works. It relaxed me. I don't know if it what else it does, but it did help me to quit smoking.
That's great. I mean, it helped you to quit smoking. It practically saved your life.
Sal, was the disease depersonalization?
Yeah. Derealization, depersonalization. That's exactly it. Thank you, JD. So that's been pretty good. That's subsided substantially because I have been going through this hypnosis, de-stressing. I also take propanolol for my essential tremors, and that's also an anti-anxiety medication as well, and that's really great.
Have you cut down on
how many medications are you taking a day?
I take the propanolol. I was taking miclazine for a while, which was for vertigo, which I think I was experiencing for a while. And I take Lipitor. I take 20 milligrams of Lipitor every day.
Works. It relaxed me. I don't know if it what else it does, but it did help me to quit smoking.
That's great. I mean, it helped you to quit smoking. It practically saved your life.
Sal, was the disease depersonalization?
Yeah. Derealization, depersonalization. That's exactly it. Thank you, JD. So that's been pretty good. That's subsided substantially because I have been going through this hypnosis, de-stressing. I also take propanolol for my essential tremors, and that's also an anti-anxiety medication as well, and that's really great.
Have you cut down on
how many medications are you taking a day?
I take the propanolol. I was taking miclazine for a while, which was for vertigo, which I think I was experiencing for a while. And I take Lipitor. I take 20 milligrams of Lipitor every day. So 3 forms of medication as of right now. And once in a while, Xanax when I have a tough time sleeping. So 4 forms of medication. And if I could get a free Percocet, I'll pop that too.
You call me a mess.
Well,
and you're
physically you are.
What about the e-cigarette? Have you dropped that? Is that still
No
going?
way. It's my best friend.
There's one in his hand.
This is my pacifier.
He's puffing it as he's talking about floaters in his eyeballs.
I wonder if there's any relation there.
Did I hear on the radio today? I thought I heard on the news this morning that that they're trying to ban e-cigarettes from indoors.
Yeah.
That some of the nicotine can still get to other people.
They said they said that chemicals actually come out in the vapor because the argument was like the vapor isn't harmful at all. But they say there are chemicals in there. John Lieberman, what do you know about?
Well, you know what's funny? We profiled this on Lieberman Live this week, and it's interesting because there's so much opposition actually to the ban, and the opponents are saying you can't ask people to stop smoking and give them e-cigarettes as an alternative and then say, oh, by the way, we're going to ban those too. So there's a surprising amount of opposition to the e-cigarette ban because that's what the opponents are saying. We're trying to get people to stop really smoking, and now if we ban this too, they're going to go back to regular smoking.
By the way, here's what happened. Nobody when you say you can't give it to us. The government, different cities banned smoking indoors because they found out that it was harmful. And some company came up with e-cigarettes. And as always, the FDA is a little behind on it. So these things come out, they immediately do their work. So they've probably been investigating it for the last 2 or 3 years, and they found out what it does. And so they're going to stop that. So I think it's funny, like they gave this to us and now they're taking it away.
John, do they have any conclusive proof?
No, and that's the whole thing. I mean, oftentimes this research takes, a decade or more. It did with cigarettes and it will with e-cigarettes too until there's an actual, hard and fast research about what it can do to you.
Let's go to the phones. Jay in New York, you're on the Wrap-Up Show.
Hello?
Hey, Jay.
Hey, Jay.
Hey, what's up, guys? Love the live shows on off days. Keep it up.
Happy to be here.
Sal, I have a friend who had this freckle
Yes.
on the eyeball, and it turned into something a lot more serious. They at night, after about 8 months, at night they couldn't even see, and during the day the eye was all blurry, like partially blind.
Right.
So you really got to keep up with that, otherwise you're going to run into a major problem.
Well, thanks for telling me that. That's exactly what I've been doing. I've been monitoring the freckle every 3 to 6 months with my doctor.
And I sympathize with you, Sal, because I have floaters in both eyes.
I do,
because I got hit in the eye with a hockey puck when I was 13 in one eye, and a rock when I was 5 in the other eye, and it detached my retina and it caused floaters. So yeah, it can be tough.
There are some days where it looks like there's a spider web in front of your eye,
Oh, wow.
and it's horrible. These long black strands and dots.
Yep.
Do you ever wake up at night like he was saying and you can't see?
No, I've never had that. Thank God.
That would be terrifying.
And I hope his friend's okay. That's horrible. But yeah, they monitor this freckle, and it's crazy. She zooms in on it and they measure it. And so far, it's been good for the past year.
Oh, wow.
And it's horrible. These long black strands and dots.
Yep.
Do you ever wake up at night like he was saying and you can't see?
No, I've never had that. Thank God.
That would be terrifying.
And I hope his friend's okay. That's horrible. But yeah, they monitor this freckle, and it's crazy. She zooms in on it and they measure it. And so far, it's been good. For the past year, the freckle's been fine.
Al, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk more about this. We've got Lieberman and Sal in here, so we're going to talk about their blossoming musical careers.
Oh, yeah.
I used to rap back in the day.
And you sucked. Yeah, what else?
You're
What
listening
else?
to it. He'll work on it during the break. This is the Wrap-Up Show on Howard 100 and Howard 101.
Hi, this is Howie Mandel, and you're listening to John Hine and Gary Dell. Oh, Gary Dell, buddy. I can't read without my glasses, to be totally honest with you. Hi, this is Howie Mandel, and you're listening to John Hine and Gary Delabate on The Wrap-Up Show.
Welcome back to the Wrap-Up Show. I'm Sal Governale, and now your host, the sensational John Hine.
Thank you, Sal. I should lose my voice more often.
You should.
888-STERN-100. Give us a call to talk about everything that Howard talked about. And actually, we spotted somebody in the hallway. We just pulled in, none other than Steve Rannazzisi from The League,
Hello.
as you know. Big Howard Stern fan.
Humongous fan.
And, Steve, we have to give you guys props because if you watched The League this year, you heard more than once a line uttered by none other than the great Ronald Munn.
We tried to jam Stop the Clock in almost on every single episode. And I did it 3 times. Nick Kroll's got in for sure. And Paul Scheer tried. I mean, Jason Mantzoukas tried it. Every single one of us, in any corner we can jam in. Oh, whoa! Stop the clock. At any time, and they had no idea. They kept asking us, "Are you like? Yeah, we're just keep saying that. Just keep putting that in there." And they cut some out, but we got a couple in this year.
Is Mr. Is Mr. Mund aware of this?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
no.
he is.
Oh, he is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good.
Proud of it.
You know who copied you guys now, Steve? Is the James Caan show on ABC? They had the little kid get in a whoa, stop the clock.
Oh, he did? Really?
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks ago.
And it's such a great thing because our show is improvised, so there's no line. So really, we can kind of do whatever we can say whatever we want. So anytime there's like a moment where you're like, wait a minute, instead of wait a minute, it's whoa, stop the clock. It just makes total sense.
Hey, Gary, do you know who else said stop the clock?
Who?
Take a wild guess.
The Long Island Medium?
Larry Caputo.
Oh, boy.
That's right.
What do you mean? Where did he say it?
He was in
in a conversation with you in a pizza place?
No, it was on the show. It was the second season, and he was the first one to put whoa, stop the clock.
Did the tattoo artist screw up 143? He said, whoa, stop the clock.
Hey, I want to ask Steve. Steve, where are you from originally?
I'm from Long Island, from Smithtown.
Because whenever I see your name, I always think of you because my 10th grade biology teacher and my bowling coach was Steve Renazizi. He spells it exactly
Get
like
outta
you.
here, really?
I would have related to him.
There's
He was
two
my high school
Renazizi families on Long Island. We are not related, but yeah, we get crossed. Steve, it was just Steve Renazizi? Wow.
Yeah.
That's my dad's name too, yeah. And my grandfather's name as well.
But your dad wasn't a biology
But my
teacher.
dad was not, no, my dad was a bus driver, far from a biology teacher, yeah.
Do you guys try to work in any other lines from the show, or just that one?
It's tough. Whoa, stop the clock is so, it's just easy to get in there. What are the ones have I tried to, it's a Baba Booey would be almost impossible without having.
What about a hello,
be,
hello?
Hello. Yeah, I guess we could do hello. Yeah, I'm trying to think more now of ones we've tried of references. This year was just really, it was like just nailing the whoa, stop the clock. I mean, we just jammed it down our producer's throat. That they could not cut away from it half the time.
Now, I'm going to put you on the spot, Steve, because I know you're a big fan.
Yes.
I'm sure you were listening this week.
Yep.
And you heard Mr. Governale, some of his singing and rapping.
Can I tell you my experience with listening? I caught it. I was just turned it on live, and so Howard's in the middle of praising Sal, like just gushing. It was, and I was like, and in my mind, I'm like, really? I'm like, he's really going overboard on this. I'm like, it's not that bad, but it's really not as good as he's making it out to be. And then like when the joke was revealed, I was like, oh, okay, thank God. I'm like, honestly, because at some point I was going to question Howard's credibility as a judge.
You weren't lining up for the Radio City tickets?
No, I was like, Radio City? Is he out of his mind? I'm like, how does he? I'm like, but then again, like, if Howard tomorrow, if he really said he could, want to book you, he could sell at Radio City.
Absolutely.
Just by going, hey, we're going to do a show at Radio City. That's that, and Sal's going to sing, and you would have 10,000 people line up for tickets.
Steve.
Well, I'll give you the perfect example of that. The perfect example was, 20 years ago. Howard and I got into an argument. I could beat you at this. I could beat you at that. And I said I could. He goes, I could kick your ass at tennis. And I'm like, no, you can't. And 3 days later, we had sold out the Nassau Coliseum, and the only thing we had on the bill was that Howard and I were going to play tennis against each other, which is the most ridiculous thing in the world.
Oh my God! It's like when what's her name, Billie Jean King played the man, right?
Bobby Riggs.
No, they could. No, the difference is they could actually play.
Yeah.
Because Howard and I were awful. It started out with I'll come to my house and I'll beat you, and then somebody said, hey, I'd pay to watch that. So then it's like maybe we'll go to a tennis court like on Long Island and just do it. Then the Trump people called from Atlantic City. They had a 4,000 seater. And I'm telling you, 3 days later, based on nothing except that Howard and I would play tennis against each other, Nassau Coliseum sold out 20 minutes.
That's
Who won?
Amazing.
I did.
You did.
But listen, it was brutal to watch. It was not tennis.
And Sal, what were you saying before Steve leads?
Steve leads contact. We spoke yesterday. He said he would love to get me a theater. He said we should do it immediately. But I said next year there's no time to plan and promote.
It wasn't the worst thing I ever heard. I've heard way worse singing, but I mean, to be able to say you're going to actually perform and charge people money to have.
Well, I didn't say that. Howard did.
Yeah,
well,
but you
to
believe it.
Yeah, you believe it.
Hey, he's America's judge. Who am I to second guess him?
So the week has gone by.
Yeah.
Do you feel better about your singing? Worse about your singing?
I feel exactly the same. I love to sing. I put the songs out there for my Twitter fans and for my family. It was like an audio Christmas card, for lack of a better phrase, and I enjoyed it. It never went to Howard. I never had any intentions of Howard even caring about it. So I was shocked over it.
Do you really sing Sinatra at weddings for real? Like when
I
you go
do
to a
My
wedding?
Way, and I sing.
Yes, Steve, he's that guy.
Oh my God, that's the most obnoxious thing I've
No,
ever heard.
I sing.
Actually, it isn't. But keep going.
I sing the Wonder of You to my mother.
Oh, okay.
So if that's obnoxious,
What if she's not there? What if it's just a friend's wedding?
she usually isn't. She usually leaves in the middle of the song.
Is this at any wedding you do this, or
No, I don't do it. I haven't. I've done it about 2 or 3 times.
Sal's not that bad of a singer. What was the song you did on that bit the other day?
Oh, you say to me?
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Thank you.
It was every song I don't think is beautiful. You have a decent voice. Some people are going to love it. There are people that are famous, internationally famous singers that you guys would say if they were Sal here, you would goof on them just as much.
Well, here's what we say in the office when we get a lot of stuff like this where people are like, hey, I want to be in a band, or I think my kid is the greatest in the world. And what happens is we have the saying like it's good enough to be okay, but not bad enough to be funny. It's just in that middle ground where it just is.
Right. And I never claimed to be a great singer. I put this out.
No,
and
you
Howard,
did.
Howard,
You said you were
Howard
better than
called
Michael
me,
Bublé.
You think you're a
Howard
great singer.
Howard called me in and told me I was a great singer. Now, once he gave me that confidence, I ran with it.
Oh, you're
You ran with it, all right.
You're
You're
like
Jesse
the
Owens.
Flash.
all right, JD. We heard this before it got on the air.
Yes.
Do you think Sal thought he was a great singer before Howard told him?
Yes.
Yeah, so do I.
All right. Well, thank you.
But why should
Wait, didn't he
I
say
love my
to you?
singing.
Didn't he say to you? See, just like Sinatra.
Quote. Yes, he did.
Close.
Now, you talked about his singing and saying it was serviceable.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about the rapping
Yeah,
with him
the
and
rapping.
Mr. Lieberman here.
John, you are not a good rapper.
Thank you very much, Steve.
When you said yesterday you're going to retire from the trying to have a trajectory into a rap career, that's probably best case scenario for you. You're
Well,
a great
no, no.
news guy, but the rapping is piss poor.
Well, Steve, I didn't say retire from my trajectory into a rap career. I just said retire it as a hobby. I know that I wasn't going to be a rapper, but I do think, Sal, back me up here. I do think what Scoop did was a good.
God.
I do. I think that was
Scoop's
a
attempt
good.
was great, but what you laid on it wasn't.
Sal, that's not.
But what Scoop did was fantastic.
It had a buzz. It had a buzz
but
to it.
it's no
People
di-
wanted to download it. I used to rap back in the day, and I can do it still. That has a.
the beat was
a
not
hook.
that bad. The hook was
Yeah.
good, but that's all him. Then when your actual voice started coming in, that's when it just.
So
got
why?
really bad.
Wait,
Yeah,
why if he enjoys it, he's not. Why shouldn't he do it?
Because it's like karaoke. Just do it on your own. But
But what difference?
Right.
What difference does it make?
well, I mean, if you're going to try to sell it as an album, that's a different thing. If you're going to, I guess if people want to buy it, go for it. But I mean,
It's all what the market will support, Steve.
I guess so. Yeah.
No, but I don't understand why do people get angry if someone's trying to do something if
Because
they don't
it seems
like it?
it seems like you're taking advantage of people. In other words, if John Lieberman weren't associated with the show and he just put it out there, you'd say, sucks, I don't want to buy it.
Yeah.
But maybe some people will buy it because of the association with Howard, and it seems like, it seems a little obnoxious.
Well, I would never do that. I mean, I would
Right, I
never.
understand.
I would never in a million years try to sell
and
something
then
on
because
Howard's
people
back.
will buy it, then you start to believe that you are proficient at it.
So what if he believes that?
Well,
I mean, should only people do things that are the very best?
no, you should try to do what you want to do, but then have self-realization when you can't accomplish those goals.
And then quit.
But
if you
that's
like
the
it?
point. I do
No.
have self-realization. I'm done.
Yes,
I'm
yeah,
done.
yeah.
I thought you
Yeah.
were on hiatus.
John, that was your word yesterday.
Which you said was great and you agreed with.
I said your word was more appropriate, perhaps, than retiring because I didn't have a career in it.
Right.
When you guys went into the studio, though, you were saying that Sal was the one who was kind of pushing this along because he was saying you were the
It
one
was a
who
concerted effort.
What does that mean?
We were in.
What does it mean?
Hold
we
on.
did it together. We conspired this together.
What?
There you go.
How did you conspire this?
Me.
How did you concern
This
it?
wasn't conspired at all. Scoop.
Concerted effort is right. It's look it up.
All right, so how did you concert the effort?
We got Scoop emailed us. We got together and together we worked on this together.
Did you
long
guys write
time
the
ago,
lyrics?
right?
No, we didn't write the lyrics. We changed some of the lyrics, but we did not write them.
Okay.
I just like the hook. That's it.
Yeah, the hook was
The hook's good. Scoop
yeah.
did a good job with that.
I think, can I say something? I think, and I don't know the guy, Scoop, I'm sure he's a really nice guy, but I think Scoop DeVille succeeded in what he set out to do which is to get Scoop DeVille's name on our show.
Yeah, but here's the only reason why that's not necessarily true, Gary. He's a big name. Like
Huge.
And look, I'm not saying that he didn't love being mentioned on Howard Stern, because who doesn't? But it's not like he was a nobody. He is a huge name.
No, I get it.
He was just named as like a top 10 producer in Billboard or one of those magazines.
Scoop's intention was, can I take a guy like John Lieberman and make him a great rapper?
And like Sal Governale. be fair. Sal, be fair.
And Sal. And,
Thank you.
But it was a challenge to him. Like, he's a phenomenal producer. He has Billboard hits. He works with the greatest. And he said, can I do... This was like the ultimate producer challenge. And unfortunately, I guess it didn't pan out.
You've been down this road before.
Yes.
With somebody else not as successful as Scoop. So what lessons did you learn from your costly error back in the day?
I learned that I can't rap. I mean, it cost me. I think around $7,000, and I took out a loan back in the day to record all this garbage. But
Sal does
Sal,
track
This garbage that he's selling on iTunes right now.
Sal tracks how
I
much
don't deny
money
it.
the iTunes every week. Sal
how can I
checks
not?
it, and the money goes up by like 16 cents a week. And he's like, looking, he's like, it's at $40,
$42
now it's
right
at
now.
$40.16.
$42.97
Hey, we
right
haven't
now.
got
But
to
that's
crit-
after I emptied the account 3 times.
We haven't got
Sal,
I have to pay my
you're
cell phone bill, you know. What?
Sal, you're the classic example of when, like, because you and your dad really got sucked in. I remember you telling the story. It's
Yeah.
like when the girl's at the mall and the guy runs up with the clipboard and says, "Oh my God, you should be a model."
Yes.
Now here's where you go. Yeah, we need you to buy pictures at $300. We need you to do this. We're going to need that. And
But I was
that's
the
what you
schmuck.
did.
Yeah, but I was the schmuck that I recorded a demo and I sent it out to everyone. I would go into the what was it called? Not the Village Voice. It was the Long Island. What's that magazine?
Long Island Press.
Long Island
yeah.
Press out, and there was classifieds in the back, and I sent my demo out to everyone. And when I sent this demo to one particular guy, man, did he fuck me hard in the ass. He really. I walked in the studio. He had pictures up of the Fat Boys and him shaking hands with Bill Cosby, and he's just like, he sits down and he looks at me and he puts his feet on the desk. He goes, "This is a hit record."
Prolific rapper Bill Cosby.
Yeah, right, exactly. Should have known right there. And he's shaking the tape. He's looking at me. He goes, "This is a hit." He goes, "We have a hit record on our hands." He goes, "But you got a demo. Now it's time to make the record." So I'm like, "Wow, this is fantastic." So I go, "Okay." He goes, "I'm going to get you a producer. It's going to be this amount of money." And I go, "Okay, I have this great recording studio." He goes, No. He goes, "I'm going to get you the best recording studio." He goes, "I want you to get in the car right now, go to New Jersey, go see this guy." I go out there. It was like this 48-track, top-of-the-line studio, 4 floors, where all the top people record. I'm like, wow. I give this guy the tape. He puts it in. Starts stomping his feet. He's on the phone with the guy who suckered me in.
Which track was this?
This was Shake.
Oh.
Shake.
Oh, that one.
So he starts stomping his foot. He goes, "Holy shit." He goes, "This is a hit record." So I'm like, this is phenomenal. So he goes, "Okay." He goes, "We're going to get this and that and blah, blah, blah." And he takes out his pad. He starts writing down the prices, this and that, $7,500. And he hands it to me. And I just sunk. I'm like, wow, I can't afford this.
How old were you?
I was like 17 at the time.
What year did Shake come out?
Like when I was 17, 18, about 88, 89, around there.
That was as good as stuff that was like when was Vanilla Ice? 4 years later.
Yeah. Marky Mark was popular at the
It,
time.
it was the same kind of stuff.
The Fat Boys rapped about food, so
Right,
I mean,
right.
it really wasn't.
Yeah.
You know,
But what happened was, in the long run, so I went back to the agent. I said, "Look, I can't afford this." He goes, "All right, go to this studio." So I went to this studio. The other studio ended up being $4,000. So it sounded a lot nicer than $7,500. And then I went back to another studio where De La Soul recorded out in West Islip. I went to that guy who wasn't referred by my agent. He goes, "I'll do the whole thing for $700." And this guy had tremendous credentials. And I said, so I go back to my agent. I go, "I got it for $700. We're in." And my agent's like, "What, are you crazy? You can't do it with this guy. You can't. I don't give a shit." He goes, "Do you want it to be a hit or not? If you want another demo, by all means, go do it. You're going to be broke for the rest of your life. You have to go to this guy." So I went to that guy. And I ended up spending a tremendous amount of money.
Oh, terrible.
And what I figured out in the long run, in retrospect, what happens is these agents, they're obviously in cahoots with the recording.
In concert.
With the recording studios. But the recording studios, even if they're successful, they're called graveyard shifts. And what they do is, they might record Smith all day, but let's say from 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning,
they got Sal Governale.
They got Sal Governale. And what happens is this agent will go, "Well, look, I'll get you business. I'll tell these assholes that their stuff is great.
Yep.
You're going to go to them. You give me 20% of the cut, and everybody makes money on it." So,
Sal, how did you find the agent?
through the Long Island Press, I would send out my my cassettes. I recorded the cassette locally in Holbrook, and then I sent it out to everybody in the back, like, we can make you a star, blah, 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 you know. And this one particular guy called me up, and he had me do this.
And so he's the one who sent you to the recording studios.
Right. So the agent and the recording studios are in cahoots. That's how it works.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's
probably. I mean, it's probably technically
learned.
illegal. Like, if anyone.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's definitely a lesson learned, and but something good came out of it. You know
what?
Well, you know, when Howard talked about it on the show was funny.
The story?
Yeah,
Okay.
the story. So it's good, and, you know, and playing the old songs, and now they're up on iTunes, and people love them.
I love them, that's for sure.
I know. I have 5 stars on iTunes, 5 stars, and lots of reviews. Thank you.
What does that mean, 5 stars?
It means that when people listen, they rated it 5 stars.
And how does that happen?
Well, listen.
Sal goes to the 5 stars, and he clicks on it. And then,
Tony Giovanelli, 5 stars. Saul Governstein, 5 stars.
Mimi, 5 stars.
Mimi.
all right, we got to take.
Chung, 5 stars.
We got to take a break. When we
5
come
stars
back,
for you, Mr. Sal.
we'll talk more with Steve Renassisi from the league. He's at Caroline's all weekend. Be sure to check him out there. And we got to talk more about the singing career. And Gary, I know Sal wants to know what the surprise is that Howard was talking about. We'll get into that and more on the wrap-up show, which you're listening to on Howard 100 and Howard 101.
Hi, this is Governor Jesse Ventura, and you're listening to John Hein and Gary. Oh boy, we better do that again. You got to tell me how to say them names. Hi, this is Governor Jesse Ventura, and you're listening to John Hein and Gary Delabate on the Wrap-Up Show.
Welcome back to the wrap-up show, and now the king of all pedophilia, John Hein.
Took all break for you to come up with that one, huh?
No, you just told me a second ago.
No, but all break. But Gary, all break, all Sal was doing is asking me, "What's the surprise? Can you tell me?" I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, where'd that come from?
What
Gary?
is he referring to? And could you tell him what it is?
Sal, you know, I know you like to do your vocabulary words. A surprise is something that you don't know about.
I know, but where did
So if I told you
how did this come into fruition? Did you talk to Howard during a commercial break? I mean, what happened?
Something happened, and yes, we discussed it.
Just be surprised.
Okay, thanks. I hope it's
just out of curiosity, what's your guess?
Probably. I don't know. I think it could be a show.
What do you mean?
Me singing live, maybe.
Radio City?
Nah, not Radio City. The theater,
the Garden
at Madison Square Garden.
So you got that? You
really?
I think it's maybe it's related to the birthday show. Maybe. I could be singing there.
A duet with Bublé.
That would
at
be
the
great.
got?
Birthday show.
That'd be awesome. Speaking of which, do you regret knocking Bublé?
I really didn't knock him.
Oh yeah,
really?
Well, maybe I did.
Michael Bolton, you tore them.
Well, Bolton. I mean,
what?
Well, what about Bolton?
When a man loves a woman, holy torturous. I mean, talk about butchering a classic.
What about his voice, though?
His voice is good. His hair, not
What about
so
the
much.
other 20? What about the other 20 hits that weren't cover songs?
Hey, I hate anchovies, but it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. If people like Michael Bolton, so be it. I'm not going to change my opinion. What can I tell you?
I'm not defending him. I'm just saying he did one cover and then a lot of other songs.
He's
so
got a great voice. I'm not denying that, but he's down to Honda commercials, so I don't know. He's great.
Would you love to have a Honda commercial?
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to have a Hyundai commercial. I do a fucking Saturn commercial right now.
And what about Bublé?
Bublé to me, look, Harry Connick Jr. had been there, done that. You know what I'm saying? Very similar.
But that's what you're doing.
No, I'm not.
You're singing the standards.
I have my style. I'm singing the standards, yes. But
what is your style? Like, what's different than
Sal Governelli?
I know your name.
Bublé. When you hear Bublé, like, I hear Harry Connick Jr., I hear a little bit of Dean Martin. I don't hear Michael Bublé. I don't hear something that really takes me off my feet, that really defines him as an individual. As complete, that's, you know, but he's.
But how are you defined as an individual? When I hear you, I hear a lot of Elvis, and Elvis, by the way, was if you read books, Elvis was imitating Dean Martin. I hear a little Sinatra.
Okay,
no, Elvis says flat out that he was imitating Dean Martin.
Wow, that's great. You know, I'm not a guy selling records. I'm not a professional singer. I wish I was. I wish I was a great singer, but I'm just giving you my opinion on these particular singers, how I feel about them. With me, I just do my thing, but I'd love to see these guys. Well, Michael Bolton has. I'd like to see Bublé. It would be great if Bublé could come out with an original song that would be a hit with the crooner style.
He does do original. He does do original songs,
but it's almost impossible to pull off with that old school crooner style. by today's standards. If he could
So
do
what
that,
are you going to do with your old school? Because you're
nothing.
You're,
I'm a writer on the show. I do prank calls and song.
No, but
parodies.
you're saying that you can sing, and if you were going to sing, you'd be.
I
doing
can write
your
an
old
original
school-
song. I can write an original song. I'll write one.
So,
Absolutely.
But so is Michael Bublé. He's written one, and it's been a hit.
Which one? Exactly.
I don't know.
Exactly.
So if Bublé sings like White Christmas and you sing White Christmas, you think there's going to be a difference?
Christmas songs are in a different category altogether. Anybody could get away with doing them because they're Christmas songs. It's almost like you have a free pass.
All right, what about My Way? That's one of your signature tunes.
What about it?
Would you think your version would be different than Michael Bublé's version?
Of course. I mean, it would. Yes, it wouldn't. Yeah.
Better?
I wouldn't say better. He's a better singer.
Did
but-
you win the cruise ship thing singing
Yes,
My Way?
I did. I won that, Steve.
Oh, good for you. Was it a deaf cruise ship? Was it for deaf people?
Bublé came in fourth.
And now,
All right, let's go to the phones.
The end is near.
It sure is. Kathy in Jersey, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey guys, good morning.
Hi.
Since you were talking about the Sal singing the CD, I tried to call you the other day because I was ready to jump out of my car. But I think this whole thing, I just cannot believe that Sal took Howard seriously and really believed that he was going to get a gig at Radio City. I mean, how many years has Sal known Howard? A lot of years, right? So how could he possibly take that seriously? I think that Sal, you all were in on this giant spoof for the listeners. I just don't buy it at all that Sal really believes this.
Sal, you want to let her in on something here?
When he was saying the stuff that he was saying, the thing that made this thing odd is that I put this out on my Twitter account, and Howard doesn't follow me. So I knew Howard wouldn't get access to this. So when somebody gave it to Howard, when he found out about it through Twitter, somebody retweeted him or whatever, and he heard it. And I went on the air. I thought this was interesting because he heard it through like the back door. Like I didn't submit the material to Howard directly saying, hey, I think this is good. So when it came from a third party to Howard, and then Howard said he heard it through Twitter and he found it interesting, then I thought, wait a minute, this possibly could be something interesting, because there have been times on the weekends, like he spoke about a particular song 2 weeks ago, and he was tweeting the lyrics, and he was getting bashed for it. And he's like, this is a beautiful song. And he played the song on the air. I particularly wasn't crazy about it, but I'm like, okay, maybe this is one of those situations that he really was truly impressed with it.
Can I give you my thought process of listening to it and what I thought you were thinking? And this is just me not knowing you as a person, but knowing you from the show, that you thought this is an opportunity to make some money. Like you could possibly go out and use this. I knew you during the show you said, oh, you can keep the money. I don't want, but you knew that like that would lead to other shows and other things. And that would be a way for you to sell yourself and make some extra income.
Well, at first, when Howard brought up Radio City, I thought that's impossible to pull off. And then immediately what came to mind was that he's the judge at HET. He owns Radio City. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, this really makes a lot of sense. I'm like, and I thought, wow, this could be great. And yeah, there could be good money involved. I can certainly use the money. But at that moment, I was so happy just to do that, to perform at Radio City. At that moment, I didn't mind giving away all the money from Radio City. But yes, it could manifest.
Knew that Sal Cramden later on knew that could get more money.
Such an awesome reference, Steve.
It could manifest into other shows, which would be phenomenal.
Yeah, Steve Renetta, what'd you find over there?
Just really quick, some Bublé trivia. Do you know what the name of his record label is? This is crazy.
What?
143 Records.
No way.
Whoa. Yeah, but hold on a second. Hold on a second. Before we start, saying Lincoln and Sal have the 8 letters. Here's what's going on.
He loves me.
143 means I love you. So in weird, odd internet lingo. So it could be Bublé could have written it to his wife as opposed to Sal 143.
And you know, Bublé, Gary
Bublé
is Baba Booey in Italian.
So, John, can John and I talk about what John and I were talking about this in the office the other day because a pretty good friend of mine who's a producer out in LA, he sent me a note and he said, like, there's no way that this could be true with Sal. And John and I had a long discussion about it, and we're like, they don't know Sal the way we know Sal.
Correct.
It was 100% authentic on every level, because Sal is it's a sweet set of Sal can be very naive about these kind of things, but that was 100% Sal all the way.
Matt in New York, you're on the wrap-up show. Hey, Matt.
Oh, sorry about that, guys.
That's
how
okay.
you doing? Hey, I got a comment and a question. My comment is, John, I really, truly do miss the John Hine TV show. It was a great forum to be able to ask a lot of questions, especially with the shows that you guys talked about. I was a fan of a lot of them.
Oh,
but
thanks,
I'm a huge fan of the league. Huge fan of the league.
Thank you.
And obviously with Steve there as well. And the characters are great. My question is, there was the episode. It was a weird dream sequence episode with like 1 year in the future with Rafi and Dirty Randy to take a ride out to L.A. or wherever. And first of all, I hope not, you're doing a spoiler alert here. But at the end, there's a duel and Rafi kind of bites it. But please tell me, first off, that they won't kill him off. And secondly, I got to just say, I love the scene where, obviously he calls you Brian, and he just spray paints on the garage door, thank you, Brian, and steals your car. But I mean, just a great fan of the show. Just wanted to see, where that's heading. I know it's now on FX, or as Howard would say, FXXXX at this point. But just want to get your thoughts on that, and what it's like working with him as an actor, and what the future holds for Rafi and the rest of you guys.
Well, first of all, Jason Mantzoukas, who is also another super fan of the show, who's probably listening right now, is one of the funniest people in the world. And as that character, his improvising style, he's allowed to say literally whatever he wants whenever he wants to say it, which makes it almost impossible not to laugh when you're in scenes with him. But as far as Rafi is concerned, let's just say a lot can happen in a year. And,
nice.
I don't know if Rafi is even capable of dying.
Not only that, I mean, so there's a good chance that you might walk into your bathroom and still see him eating hot dogs.
I mean, yeah, literally, who knows? I would not be surprised if that was the first thing that happened. And considering that I am the Sacco next year, I'm in last place, I expect Rafi to be doing a lot of awful things to me and my various orifices.
I would expect nothing less. Thanks a lot, fellas. Have a great holiday.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, Mantzoukas is so great.
Unbelievable.
On that show. I mean, you guys are all funny, but he is...
Yeah.
Oh,
it's impossible to keep a straight face in a scene with him.
How tough is it to do it? Like, you're improvising all the time.
Yeah.
Kroll's hysterical. You guys are all really funny.
Yeah.
I mean, do you manage not to lose it?
Sometimes. I mean, but once we get the giggles as a group, it's very tough to kind of hit the reset button. We kind of have to step away and because once one guy starts to laugh and then we realize something's coming up that we're all laughing at or we're anticipating that laugh. And then what Jason will do is when he'll make a joke and then we'll laugh. And then as we'll start the scene over again, as that joke's coming up, we're expecting that joke again, so we're holding in, but he'll make a different joke, and then even an even funnier joke, and then that will break us up even more, and before you know it, the wheels have fallen off, and we got to start all over again.
What's that smile on your face?
Well, Will just motioned for me to come out of here to...
thanks for that.
Well, that's what I was saying. I was like, what the hell are you doing? And then he wants to record some fancy football bullshit, like news report. Mm-hmm. So then the next thing I know... Someone's bringing over Regis over.
Regis Philbin?
Yeah, and I just met Regis.
Oh.
Yeah. And
you love him, so how was it?
It was awesome. He was very aggressive to me. And,
what do you mean aggressive?
What? No, I mean, that's how Regis is. And,
did he remember from when you passed?
Well, he said I gave him the brush off, and, I said, no, absolutely not. I mentioned how I followed him on Twitter, and,
Did you get a phone number?
No, I did not get a phone number.
Wait, so how did the conversation go?
Well, I mean, it was, Shuley was there with a microphone, so it wasn't like, a conversation. It was Regis.
You're blushing, man.
Yelling at me, and then,
I haven't seen you this happy in a very long time.
It was awesome. And, then he plugged the Bing Crosby thing he's doing, and that was it.
You take a picture?
No, I didn't take
Are you bringing him to the party tonight?
No.
Were you coherent when you were speaking to him, or did you get all choked up?
I mean, as coherent as I am now, I guess.
That answers that question.
I have to say that, JD's usually very blasé about things that I think that he will enjoy, and I'm really happy to hear he's got a step in his voice. You really seem to enjoy that, huh, JD?
Well, yeah, it's Regis. Come on, man.
Gary, he's flying. I mean, he's great from ear to ear.
I'm still sweating, for Christ's sake. But Will's about to make a fat joke. So.
He's on cloud 9. Sorry.
Is this better than winning the fantasy championship?
Well, let's not get too crazy.
Really?
Let's not get too crazy. But meeting Regis is definitely an honor. And
but Regis must love it too, because usually it's great that he has it, but it's usually probably like 90-year-old women are all JD's reaction.
Yes, he'd rather have a 33-year-old man.
Well, you have some feminine qualities,
I guess.
Check this one off the bucket list.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Wow. Regis and wet Brazilian fat asses. JD's two favorite things.
Sal, in all fairness, you used to go to the booths and watch horses get blowjobs. So don't be acting like you're so nice.
Oh, by all means, I'm proud of him. I love it. It's great.
You're proud
I'm
of
saying that in a complimentary way.
I still need a wet Brazilian ass.
I'll get you one.
John Lieberman, I'm sure Shuli's report's going to be on the Howard 100 News, but what else you got coming up?
Shuli's report will definitely be there. So much more stuff today, John. Howard 100 News investigating Jason Kaplan's role on Wrap-Up yesterday. Apparently, Steve Brandano was set to fill in for you, John, because you didn't have a voice, and then apparently Jason barreled in and took over instead. We have a full investigation behind the scenes as to what really happened. Also, a look at Stern staffers in high school. Who were the nerds? Who were the cool kids? Lisa G has that. I was just handed a note, a breaking story from news director Michael Morales, that indeed Howard 100 has the audio of JD and Regis. As we just mentioned, you're going to want to listen for that all day. And Howard Stern goes one-on-one with me, and we talk about a variety of issues. That is all coming up today on Howard 100 News.
Mike, is this an exclusive? I mean, I'm sure you're a Regis fan as well.
Yeah, I mean, I worked with Regis for years, but Howard 100 News is always, where we need to be. We were there when JD got flustered with the man of media, Regis Philbin.
He said he was pretty coherent.
No, I mean, like I said, I was like this. I don't know first of all, I don't know what to say to Regis except I love him, and that's about it.
Hey, would you like
just one more time? Tell me why you love him, because I forgot.
I just think he's hilarious. I love his. He's very aggressive and angry all the time, and I think that's funny.
Would you like to hang out with him? Is that more of the fantasy?
I mean, there's really no fantasy. If it happens, it happens.
But is that something would you like that to happen?
I don't know, because I don't know. I wouldn't want to say have it happen, and I don't know what to say to him. We're sitting there like couple, we don't have anything to say to him.
Will Murray, you pulled this whole caper off.
Oh no, he doesn't need.
I'm sure you were there for the interview. How would you describe
making
JD?
dreams come true?
Yeah, seriously. The Make-A-Wish kid does it.
Exactly. Pay it forward.
How was he?
He was, bumbling and mumbling and couldn't really speak well, and typical JD.
Was Regis taken by him or scared?
No, Regis was trying to do shtick, and JD just kind of sits there and doesn't really say much. So
no yes and from JD.
Well, a little bit of that, but clearly Regis had to do the heavy lifting. And we're talking JD here, so super heavy lifting. It was just so funny because I brought him out. I'm like, I'm just saying, hey, we got to do this fantasy football story, which is ridiculous, right? So as soon as he meets Regis, they go through. They say, hey, it's like
I was
really
making
cool
a
moment.
joke, Will.
No, you weren't. He immediately
Yes,
goes,
I was.
Are we going to finish the fantasy football story now?
I was making that joke, you dipshit. Asshole.
I thought it was kind of funny.
Do you think Regis will be seeking JD out in the future? Was there a
Not
friendship
after the
here?
brush off. Apparently, JD completely blew him off the last time.
I did not.
That's what he said.
That's what. Yeah. Okay. That's what. All right. Okay. It didn't happen.
Well, congratulations,
Thank
JD.
you.
I thought
Thank
they're going to talk Notre Dame football. They didn't even go there.
I don't know. It was 2 seconds. I don't know what the hell to say to him. I
thought
don't
you had
know.
a whole agenda if you were going to meet.
No,
Regis.
there's no. I have no agendas with meeting people.
You haven't thought about, but it's Regis. I mean, I would think you'd give it some thought if you ever met him.
No, I don't really think about things until they happen.
What? Are you still sweating? You were
Yes,
sweating.
I'm still sweating. Yes.
That's pretty ugly.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Will. You can leave now.
All right.
All right. I think with that, we will wrap up this wrap-up show.
Yeah. Thank you.
Steve Renazizi, people want to see you. Where should they go?
At Steve Renazizi on Twitter, and then this weekend at Caroline's all weekend long.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for dropping by,
Thank you
man.
guys for having me. This is a thrill.
Good to see you. Sal Governale?
I want to say it's a pleasure to be here with Steve. League is an awesome show.
Thank you.
Good luck at Caroline's. And if you have any gifts or toys laying around the house that have not been unwrapped, unopened, donate them. Toys for Tots. Help out some of these kids for Christmas. It blows not to have any toys. And follow me at Sal Governale on Twitter.
Gary, what do you got?
Follow me on Twitter at Robert A. Bowie. And Steve, really good to have you here.
Thank you, Gary.
Benji.
Appreciate it.
Steve, I hope you get to meet Regis.
Thank you.
I'm on Twitter, Bronk, BRONK, Bronk.
Will Murray, the man who makes dreams come true. What do you got?
I'm kind of bummed I didn't get to hang with Steve because I did a pre-interview with him years ago. It was really funny.
Yeah.
He's a really funny guy. And he also did a series, one of our ex-interns, which I thought was really funny.
Jeff
too.
Dennis, yeah.
Yes, Jeff Dennis.
Daddy
So
Knows Best on YouTube.
He's the man. And maybe next time I'll catch a show with him. JD won't hog all the mic time.
JD?
Follow Regis at Regis. That's it.
You will.
Yeah.
He's already there. John Lieberman.
Love you.
Good to meet Steve, and I'm on Twitter at Reporter John, Reporter Jon.
You can follow me on Twitter at John Hein. I sound a lot better there. Thanks for listening to the wrap-up show on Howard 100 and Howard 101.